What does it feel like to lose everything you've ever known in a single night? I can tell you. It's a hollow ache, like the world has pulled the ground from under you, leaving you suspended in a void of your own making. My name is Clara Evans, and this is the story of how I clawed my way back from nothing, defying every whisper that I'd never rise again. It began with a fire. Not a metaphorical one, but a real, roaring blaze that consumed my small apartment in the heart of Boston. I was 29, a graphic designer with a promising career, a cozy home filled with sketches and dreams, and a fiancé, Daniel, who I thought was my forever. That night, I came home late from a client meeting, exhausted but content, only to find my building engulfed in flames. The fire department saved my life, pulling me from the stairwell as I choked on smoke, but they couldn't save my home. Or my relationship. In the chaos, I learned Daniel had been unfaithful for months, using my long work hours as his excuse. By dawn, I stood on the sidewalk, clutching a singed jacket, with no home, no savings, and a heart shattered by betrayal. The weeks that followed were a blur of despair. I couch-surfed with friends, my pride too bruised to ask for more than a night or two. My job, once my sanctuary, became a battleground. My boss, impatient with my distracted work, let me go, citing budget cuts. Whispers followed me, Clara's lost it. She'll never recover. Friends I'd known for years stopped calling, their pity too heavy to carry. I was a ghost in my own life, haunting the ruins of who I used to be. One rainy afternoon, I sat in a coffee shop, nursing a cold latte I couldn't afford, when I hit rock bottom. I had $12.47 in my account, no job, and a voicemail from my landlord's lawyer demanding payment for damages I didn't cause. I could have given up. Most expected me to. But something inside me, maybe stubbornness, maybe hope, refused to break. I made a vow to myself, I would rebuild, not just to survive, but to thrive, to prove them all wrong. The first step was the hardest, facing myself. I borrowed a friend's laptop and signed up for free online courses in web development, a skill I'd always wanted to learn but never had time for. I spent nights in a shelter, my eyes burning from screen glare, teaching myself to code. It was grueling, but each line of code felt like a brick in the foundation of a new life. I started small, freelancing for $10 gigs on shaky Wi-Fi, building websites for local businesses. Every dollar I earned went into a savings account labeled Future. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. While working at a library, I met Lila, a 60-year-old woman with a sharp wit and a story that mirrored mine. She'd lost everything in a divorce decades ago, her ex-husband leaving her with nothing but debt and 2 kids to raise. Lila wasn't just a survivor, she was a force. She ran a small nonprofit that helped women rebuild after crises, offering coding boot camps and microloans. Her presence was like a spark in my darkness. "You're not broken, Clara," she said one day, her eyes fierce. "You're just unassembled. Let's put you back together." With Lila's guidance, I applied for her nonprofit's program. They gave me a scholarship for an advanced coding bootcamp, and I threw myself into it. I coded until my fingers ached, learning not just skills but confidence. Lila introduced me to a network of women who'd faced their own fires, literal and figurative, and come out stronger. Their stories fueled me. I wasn't alone anymore. 6 months later, I landed my first real contract, a $5,000 project to redesign a nonprofit's website. It wasn't just money, it was validation. I rented a tiny studio apartment, my first home since the fire. I furnished it with thrift store finds, each piece a trophy of my resilience. But the real test came when I pitched an idea to Lila's nonprofit, a platform to connect women in crisis with mentors and resources. They loved it. I spent months building it, pouring my heart into every pixel. When Rise Up launched, it was more than a website, it was my redemption. The doubters started to notice. Old friends who'd written me off sent awkward texts, "Heard you're doing well. Let's catch up." My ex-boss emailed, offering freelance work. I politely declined. I didn't need their approval anymore. Rise Up grew, gaining traction among nonprofits nationwide. By my 31st birthday, I was speaking at a tech conference, sharing my story to a room of strangers who clapped not out of pity, but respect. Daniel even called, his voice sheepish, saying he'd always believed in me. I hung up mid-sentence. The final piece of my rebuild wasn't professional, it was personal. One evening, Lila invited me to dinner at her home, a cozy place filled with photos of her kids, now grown. Over wine, she told me something I'll never forget: success isn't the absence of pain, Clara. It's what you build through it. That night, I realized I'd not only rebuilt my life but redefined it. I wasn't the Clara who'd lost everything, I was the Clara who'd created something new. Today, Rise Up serves thousands of women, and I run a small tech consultancy on the side. I've got a new apartment, a dog named Ember, and a circle of friends who see me for who I am, not who I was. The whispers have changed. Clara did it. She actually did it. But the sweetest victory isn't their shock, it's my peace. I wake up each morning knowing I didn't just survive, I became someone I'm proud of. So, what does it feel like to rebuild your entire life from scratch? It's like learning to breathe again, one shaky inhale at a time, until you realize you're not just Olivia Unstoppable. And to anyone who thinks you'll fail, let them watch. You'll shock them all.